afternoon, everyone. You might have seen earlier this week that I made a post about inviting our lovely counsellor Lindsay in just to come and give you some help and advice about dealing with your child's mental health and also your mental health during all of this, because it's put a lot of pressure on us. You know, mental health is really important here at St Gabriel's, and we are going to make sure that we are dealing with that when the children come back in as well. So I've written a few questions and just thought that Lindsay and I'll have a bit of a conversation. There might be things about our own children, you know, things we're doing at home that we'll be able to share with you as well, and hopefully that'll help. Right, so I think one of the main things, Lindsay, is really about what sort of emotions the children will be sort of experiencing at the moment.
So a lot of them will be feeling anxious, worried, uncertain, confused, scared and lost, really, because they've lost their routine, their normality. So that's probably what they are going to be feeling, a lot of them at the moment.
And that might be hard to deal with for quite a few of them. So what sort of things can we do to help parents deal with that during this time?
Well, children will have questions, and it is important to talk to them and be open and be honest with them, answering the questions as best you can. Don't kind of shy away from what they're asking, and remind them that it's okay for them to have feelings. Sometimes we worry and express that back to them, that, you know, I'm worried a bit, and that normalises stuff for them.
I think that's something I've tried to do at home with Neve, because I know when sort of she's been a bit overwhelmed with things, I've been quite honest with her about sort of the pressures that I've had because of work and things, and then talking to my neighbour across the fence, she's been the same. So I think it is trying to let the children know that it's normal to have all of these feelings.
Yeah, it is, and by normalising it for them, it helps keep them a bit calmer, because if they're asking questions and you're able to answer them and you're expressing your feelings, and that, it will regulate them a little bit.
Okay, so a big thing for me was, I think Neve's at the sort of age where she does pick up on things, she listens to the news and things like that. Should I talk to her about coronavirus and what coronavirus is?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely talk to them about it. Tell them what it is, so they understand it. There's loads of resources that we've looked at that explain it in different ways, and it's explained it in an age appropriate way. Which will reassure them.
Okay, and I'll just say, Lindsay's just mentioned there, we've got some resources, so what I will do via Parent Pay tomorrow is I will send out some links and things so that you can all access them, and just maybe you could use them to help with those conversations that you need to do.
And if you don't know all the answers, try and answer as many as you can for them. I mean, tell them that you're not going to know all the answers. It'll just help keep them as calm as possible, really.
Yeah, I think it's always that thing of asking Google, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's difficult though as well, because you put in your symptoms and within 3 clicks you've got, you know, something absolutely horrendous. So I think it is putting it in perspective, but also, you know, saying to them, I suppose like we do here, if we don't know the answer to something, we'll talk about finding it out. So I suppose it's the same with that.
But also explain what the symptoms are. So tell them that it's similar to a cold. They might get a bit of a cough, a dry throat. There's all information that we've managed to source, and like Lindsay said, we will send it out. But some of the symptoms are very similar to having a cold, and I think that if they can understand that it's going to feel like, oh well, if it's just a bit of a cold, then it might not feel as scary. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So okay, so my child is asking lots of questions, and I can really see that they're suffering with sort of being quite anxious about coronavirus. So is there anything that I can do?
Yeah, so you can reassure them that they are very unlikely to become seriously ill, and if they do feel ill, that you look after them and you're going to be there to keep them safe. Your child might be concerned about catching the virus, and just let them know that what kind of support that you will be able to provide for them. I mean, in this day and age, we have a great NHS. You know, there's medicines, and you know, there's a great survival rate of it if you put it on. I spend a lot of time with kids working on like scaling things up, like looking at the amount of people that have recovered and are safe and healthy to the amount of people, and it brings that margin, especially when they're older. They understand a little better. It is harder with them when they're littler, but kind of bringing that balance, that's it. That will help keep them a little bit more calmer about it.
Okay. It's almost like just putting it in perspective to everything that's happening. Right, so obviously next week we are starting with our reopening of schools, and some schools have gone back this week. And I think a really big question from my parents is all about how we support our children who are coming back to school next week. So have you got any advice about that?
Yep, so start explaining that one of the things I've, when I was looking at information, it's explain to them the staff are really looking forward to having them back, like make it a bit exciting for them to come back and seeing the friends. But if you are concerned and you're a bit anxious, then help prepare them for what to expect when they return. So, you know, how they can keep safe themselves. While washing the hands, sneezing at their arms, and like when they've used a tissue, shut it straight in the bin, wash the hands, and tell them how long, you know, do that whole happy birthday thing that they've been doing. That'll help them feel and give them a sense of control, and that'll help keep them calmer. Yeah. If they're in control and they know what they need to be doing and they know what to expect, it is going to be different for them returning to school. It's not going to be the norm, but it will at the same time help give them a routine, you know, a structure of that things will return back to normal at some point, and that will help keep the stress levels down a bit.
Okay. Now, a conversation I've had with all my parents is about the fact that, you know, your decision about bringing your child back to school is yours and it's based on your personal circumstances. So we do have parents who've made the choice not to bring their children back to school, and I totally understand this. So is there some sort of advice for supporting those children who aren't coming back to school, even though some of their friends might be?
Yeah, so I definitely advise keeping in contact with the school and connecting with the staff and the teachers, so they still feel like they've got that contact with doing their like schoolwork and stuff. But keep as many like regular routines as you can with them. So it can be quite fun being off with them, but try and even if it's getting up every morning, going out for and doing a bit of exercise, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
We go out and do exercise, then we do schoolwork, then it's kind of gets to dinner time, then they can have afternoon to play. It's keeping that regular routine and keeping them busy, and most important, connected with even like friends and like messages or pictures. I mean, one of my daughter's friends, she posts like notes for the dog, brings letters round, and makes some bracelets and things like that, and it's just letting them know that they haven't been forgotten and they're still there.
Yeah, I know Neve's been having sort of FaceTimes with her friends and things, and obviously she's been having Google Meets and things, the way some of our children have been logging on and joining it. Something I did was Neve and I created a bucket list of all the things that we used to love to do, and then sort of once all of that schoolwork and things was over, we'd choose something from the bucket list to do. But that sort of gave us a bit of normality, sort of connected to what we would usually do. But also I think it wasn't that, well, I've got nothing to do, I'm bored sort of sensation. There was always something sort of to do there. So that was quite a good idea. The only other thing I've done is I've created a bit of a scrapbook for Neve as well, so she can look back at some of the things that we've done and look at pictures of what we've like gone out, if we've gone out for our exercise, what we've seen, what we've experienced. So that's been nice as well.
Yeah, things like painting and reading and gardening. I mean, I always have loved painting the fence. Really, like, you know, it's one of those things that's a task that you just don't want to do, but they've really enjoyed it, you know. And it's things like that keep them going.
And I think it's really important to know all those other skills the children have mastered
during
this time, you know. That's really important as well and really valuable.
We now make an amazing cheesecake in our house.
Oh, she doesn't bring one in here. How rude. It's my birthday. It's my birthday on Friday. Just saying. Anyway, mind you, my waistline won't like it at the moment, so it's fine. Right. So we're going to move on to ways that we can help the children deal with their emotions. So, is there some strategies or some things that you can say that would just give parents a bit of guidance about how you can help the child to deal with how they're feeling?
So I think children digest our own anxieties. You know, they feed off us. It's one of the things that naturally does happen. You know, we're stressed, they feel stressed.
Yeah.
We're just remaining calm with them and talking to them like about their emotions and how they're feeling. I think in acknowledging that and validating the feelings. You know, it's okay that you feel that. I understand that you feel like that. And if you're in a state where you're anxious, then it's not the right time to have that conversation. You know, wait till you're as time when you feel that you can have a conversation. But just most importantly, normalising the fact that it's okay for them to feel like that. They are going to feel confused and upset and vulnerable, and it's a big massive change for them. There's going to be so many things that are going to be running through their heads. I've just found at home that we just get on and we just we've changed our routine, and the kids love going out on a bike ride, and things like being out in the fresh air and things like that just helps keep them not focusing on what's going on. I mean, I don't really have the news on in my house. We don't really talk about it. We just do things that can kind of distract them, and that's a big important thing, distracting that negative thought process that there will be in of like overthinking things.
I think that was a big change in me, because at the start of this I had really bad anxiety. If I didn't see that daily news briefing, if I missed it, I felt really, really wound up and anxious about it. And I had to sort of take a realisation and step back myself. Actually watching it was also feeding my anxiety. So now I tend to actually read the news instead of watching it on the TV, because then I can choose when I do it and where I do it. And a big thing, and I've actually introduced Neve to this, is listening to podcasts. So I know you'd recommended some to me, and I've been listening to some, and there's also a children's radio station which you can get the app for, and they post lots and lots of sort of podcasts and shows that you can get them to download, or they can listen live when they're on. So that's another really good thing. So I think we sort of touched on it a bit there, about sort of parents, how they're feeling.
Yeah, and like I've said there, we do push our anxieties on our children, and just reiterating that it's important that you look after yourself, and you can try and keep calm, and if there is conversations that you feel that you do need to have, be mindful that they're about. I mean, one of the things that with the research that I was doing yesterday, it does say don't shelter them from the news. You know, be open and be honest with them, but to an extent where it's not going to be too overwhelming. But if it's overwhelming for you and it's worrying for you, it's going to be worrying for them. They are going to really home in on how you react to it, and it's important. If you're feeling stressed or anxious, then it's not a good idea to have conversations with the children about the virus, or just be mindful and kind of move away. Wait till you're ready to have a conversation again and things like that. And I know it's difficult. It is difficult, especially more at the beginning. I think we're all a bit more used to it now. It has become, you know, a frustrating norm. I get that, but
it's hard, and I think you know, Neve hears everything. She's you know, little ears do hear everything, and you sort of forget that actually she's picked up so much. But right, and just at the bottom here you've got some little top tips of things that we could use.
I have, so I would look on YouTube, and evening meditation is great for calming them down at night. So if they're really anxious and they're worked up, evening meditation is great. There's some really, really good ones. You just put on the evening meditation for kids, and there's a hot air balloon one that my
Right.
kids like, and that's really, really good, and it just helps relax them,
Right.
and it'll help them like process the day. It helps them like switch off and just gets them like ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So there's those, but there's even ones for the adults. I sometimes type in evening meditation, and just I listen to stuff before I go to bed. There's a good talking one that I've mentioned to you
Yeah.
before. By the time that they're mentioning about my fingertips, I'm asleep.
Yeah.
So they are good because they train you how to like switch off, because a lot of the time when we're relaxing in bed we overthink things. That's when we start to kind of get ourselves worked up, and then we can't sleep because we're tossing and turning and thinking
Yeah.
about the day. So it's really, they are a good way of just shutting down.
Yeah, Neve likes a bit of yoga as well off
Yeah,
YouTube.
yoga, yeah.
There's a channel called Cosmic Kids. I know we've shared a couple of the videos, but Neve loves a yoga either on a morning or on an evening.
And what I did yesterday is I was typing in on YouTube and trying to find different resources, and I come up with, if you type in coping with COVID anxiety for children, and it brings you up to like quite a few different videos. There's one that's like a little cartoon called Dilly Walking to School, and Don't Feed the Worry Bug. And Don't Feed the Worry Bug is the cutest one.
Oh.
It's absolutely fab.
Oh, fab!
They are good.
We can share that on our social media, and I will put the link into the letter that we send.
And there's also
tomorrow.
information there on Young Minds that I found information on that was really helpful.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, well, thank you, Lindsay. That's great. Lindsay's always here. Well, you're not always here. We don't make you sleep here. So she's here on a Monday, and, you know, during the week and things, I do annoy her quite a bit. So if there is anything after this that you think you'd like a bit more information about, or a question that I can ask her, just let me know. So I hope it's been helpful. We look forward to welcoming some of the children back next week, and we'll continue to speak to you all via all the different channels that we do. So see you later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.